When you think of the scariest thing in this world, what comes to your mind? Given the current situation, many people might answer virus. It's only natural to think that staying at home is the safest option for elderly people who are at high risk of severe illness. However, that's not always the case. Elderly people at home are being targeted, with Apoden robbery increasing in recent years. They first use a fake phone call to find out how much cash is in the house. After that, they break in and commit robbery on a later date. In such a crime, murder has finally occurred. They don't hesitate to commit murder for money. What's truly scary? The virus or people? The Apoden robbery-murder case happened around 11 a.m. on February 28, 2019 in Koto Ward, Tokyo. Hisahiko Kato was in an apartment room. Three young men, pretending to be delivery workers, broke into the room of the then 80-year-old. The three men entered the room. Then Mr. Kato was restrained. One of the men tied up Mr. Kato's hands and feet and pressed on his neck so he couldn't move. Meanwhile, the other two searched for valuables. When they found nothing, they took the intercom to destroy evidence and fled. But Mr. Kato was left with his mouth sealed with duct tape, and he died just like that. That afternoon, Mr. Kato's care manager found him collapsed and restrained. The discovery of Mr. Kato led to the incident being reported to the police. It was found that Mr. Fuji had consulted an acquaintance around mid-February of the same year about receiving a suspicious phone call asking if there was money in the house. The investigation started as an appointment phone robbery case, and as a result, on March 13 of the same year, the police arrested three men on suspicion of robbery and murder, and robbery resulting in death. Hiroki Su, 22, Tatsumi Komatsuzono, 27, and Yuta Sakai, 22. The three robbed using an appointment phone scam. They were in charge of Mr. Fuji's case. They were targeting Mr. Fuji's family. They handled Mr. Fuji's case. They were in charge of Mr. Fuji's family. They were in charge of the Kato family. Mr. Fuji's family and the Kato family. That's all. However, the incident in Sasazuka revealed the details of the Apoden robbery method, making its terror very clear. I'd like to introduce that method. On February 1, 2019, Komatsuzono and another member, three people disguised as police officers, broke into an elderly couple's home in Sasazuka, Shibuya Ward. They stole 4 million yen in cash and certificates of time deposits, and other items worth 1.23 million yen. They stole valuables like precious metals and fled. Actually, just 2 days before this crime, the wife of this elderly couple received a phone call. The caller said, "I'm in trouble. I mixed up a patient's x-rays and made a treatment mistake. Transferring the patient will cost several million yen. How much cash do you have at home?" Of course, this call was from the criminal group, but they actually knew that the son of this elderly couple was a host, and that's why they made up such a clever story and called them. In response, the wife answered that they had several million yen at home. Then, 2 days later, the criminal group boldly broke into the couple's house in broad daylight, but even the method they used to break in was cleverly planned. One of the members of the criminal group who rang the intercom pretended to be a police officer. He tried to get them to open the door with lines like this: "I'm with the police. There's a dead cat outside. Can you open the door?" The wife was startled, but since he said he was a police officer, she went out. But before that, she looked at the intercom monitor, and through that monitor, she couldn't really tell if he was actually a police officer. The reason was that the rest of the group was covering and hiding the intercom camera with their bodies, lying in wait. Though his wife was suspicious, she opened the door because they claimed to be police. Then, one of the men immediately forced his foot into the door, and the group of three men broke in. The elderly couple was restrained with zip ties. They were forcibly separated, with the wife taken upstairs and the husband kept downstairs. The criminals' method was so thorough that the couple couldn't move at all, and valuables in the house were stolen. Mr. Kato has passed away. In this case, the intruder is believed to have entered the house by posing as a delivery person, using a similar method. Although the details are unclear, no valuables were stolen since none were kept in the house, but Mr. Kato tragically lost his life. In this case, the arrest was made relatively early. But the main point of contention in the trial was whether the perpetrators who restrained Mr. Cato had a clear intent to kill him. This was caused by compressing his neck. The prosecution, viewing it as asphyxiation and clear intent to kill, sought life imprisonment, while the defense claimed it was due to the defendant's assault. They denied intent to kill, saying the victim's illness worsened from stress, then left. On March 9, 2021, the Tokyo District Court noted the victim's prominent neck marks. With no sign of internal bleeding, it was questioned if any pressure was applied. The defendant received the benefit of the doubt under in dubio pro reo. Death was caused by worsening pre-existing chronic heart failure. The perpetrators denied intent to kill, and the case was closed for the defendants. The defendant was sentenced to 28 years in prison, and the remaining 2 defendants were sentenced to 27 years in prison. And what drew the most attention in this case was the moment when the charges were read out in the main text of the first trial. Sue, the main defendant, bowed his head. After the verdict was announced and the decision was delivered, Sue once again shouted, "All right." There was an incident where he was warned by the prison officer. I can still understand consistently denying intent to kill during the trial. But after taking a precious life, he cheers with joy when a verdict in his favor is delivered. I can't believe it. Plus, there's the Sasazuka Apoden case as another crime. 3 or 4 cases of robbery and theft, including robbery incidents, attempted as well. He committed those crimes, and in this case, broke into Santeku Kato's place after 2 a.m. the night before. The 3 went to a brand name shop in Sakushi, Nagano Prefecture. They also entered a vacant room and stole 35 items, including wallets, valued at about 2.3 million yen. The perpetrators entered the vacant room. They then broke into Sanzaku Kato's place, and as a result, several articles have been written about it in the news. However, the perpetrators' social media statements and behavior toward acquaintances were also considered problematic. For example, on Sue's Instagram, there were photos posted showing luxury watches and stacks of cash. He proudly showed off money obtained through crime, and even went so far as to invite acquaintances to participate in robberies. Because he was short-handed, he asked for help, as if he were just requesting assistance with a job. He posted messages with that mindset on social media, and shocking facts keep emerging. According to their acquaintances, if he had kept it bottled up, he would have died. He also crashed his car and destroyed evidence, saying things like, "There's no way I'll ever get caught," without any hesitation. So it's safe to say there's really no hope for him. Above all, the defendant even posted something like this on social media on New Year's Eve, the year before the crime. "My goal for next year is not to get caught. No matter how bad the things I do are, I want to handle it well and not get caught." First of all, this case has reached a conclusion. But what do you all think? Will the sentence be finalized as it is, or will there be new developments? Since this case is still at the first trial, future developments are drawing attention, but personally, I can't possibly think it's right to let these criminals off with just a fixed-term sentence. These criminals show no remorse, yet in dubio pro reo, benefit of the doubt, still applies to them. I seriously question if applying that principle here is truly right. I want to keep watching how things develop. Lastly, here are some important things to keep in mind to protect yourself from Apoden robberies. Never answer calls from unknown numbers, only those that your family knows. Decide on a password with your family, and no matter what is said, never tell the caller that you have cash at home. If you receive a suspicious call, the first thing you should do is contact the police. Keep these actions in mind and always stay alert. Let's be careful at all times. A moment of carelessness can lead to the worst situation, because if there is a source of infection and a route of transmission, it will spread without mercy. It's the same as a new virus. They might even resort to murder for the sake of reproduction, even more so than a virus. People might even resort to murder for money. Maybe we humans are the more terrifying ones. Well then, that's all for today. Thank you for watching.